Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly video where I show you my setup for my bullet journal for the next month, as well as I show you my flip through from the month before. So this month I will be planning for July, which is super exciting. So here's just a quick flip through of all of my spreads from June. For June I decided to do this orange and yellow type of carnival theme. So here is my first calendar page. I like to do a calendar every month so I can quickly see a brief overview of all of the events for the month. And then as you can see, I have a goals and highlights section on the top, and then the bottom section is my expense tracker, which I didn't really use that much this month. And on this next page I have my mood and habit tracker. So for each mood of every day of the month, I decided to color a polka dot in with a different colored marker and then just wrote the date on top of it with a white gel pen. And here we are moving on to the weekly spreads. So this one I created my plan with me, which will be linked in the description box. And as you can see, I use lots of yellow, orangey, peach toned photos that I printed off from Pinterest and paired that with washi tape, some doodles, and I made a bunch of different stickers for this theme. I chose lots of stickers that were floral themed and just reminded me of June. So here is my last weekly spread. This one has a slightly different color scheme. As you can see, I went for more of a gold look, but I was just getting tired of the yellow-orange theme and I wanted to change things up. So that is all of June. Now let's move on to creating all of the spreads and artwork for July. So as you can see from the thumbnail of this video, I decided to go with a mermaid theme, which I have actually been thinking of doing for a long time, but no other months before this were quite appropriate, and I thought that July would be perfect because it's summer, going to the beach, going to the pool, all just made sense to have a mermaid theme. So I paired that with a color scheme of purple just because it's a little bit different than blue, and I had already done blue for a theme in 2019, so I just wanted to change things up. So for my watercolor color page, like I do every month, I started by doing a background of blue and purple watercolor, and I let that dry, and then I started working on the tail. So the tail is primarily purple. I used a combination of multiple different watercolors. They're not super high quality or anything, but they get the job done, and I always enjoy doing my monthly watercolor just so I can keep on practicing my skills, and it's a good structured way to practice some artwork. After creating a base of purple for the mermaid tail, I went in with more of a blue shade of purple and added some details and structure to the mermaid tail. I actually found a bunch of photos online and I just kind of went through them and decided how my design for my mermaid tail was going to be and where my shadows were going to be, and that helped me to decide the structure of it and how I went about painting it. So as you can see, I went on the ends of the mermaid tail with a darker purple to outline them and add some shadows. And to add some more texture to my mermaid tail, I used a sponge and just blotted off some of the excess water. So once my entire painting was dry, I went in with my white Jelly Roll gel pen, which I seem to use for every watercolor every month, and just added some highlights and details. I like doing this because I think it adds more dimension to the painting, and also it allows me to go in and get greater detail because my paintbrushes are not that fine. I also added some bubbles in the background with that same gel pen, and then I went over the mermaid tail with some glitter glue, which I really like how this turned out. I think it made it look even more like a mermaid tail. And finally I added the month at the bottom just with a Sharpie. Okay, so now to get to the bulk of the planning section, I started by making my master calendar for the month, which I really like making every month. It keeps me really organized. I did this with a Crayola Super Tip in this medium purple shade. I decided to go with a monoline font, cursive font, and then added a simple light gray drop shadow to it. Making calendars in your bullet journal takes a lot of time to like count all the little spaces and stuff, but once you have those measured, it's really easy to just go in with a ruler and quickly outline all of the boxes. Just make sure you count your boxes and double check to make sure you have the right amount, because too many times have I made a calendar and realized that it has like only 6 boxes across or something like that, and then had to completely restart. But this time it worked out, and I just outlined this with a micron pen. And here I am just adding in the days of the week and also the dates of July. And just a side note, if you guys are interested in any of the supplies I'm using, I will make sure to leave a list in the description box so you can check that out, and I will include all of the different Tombow colors as well. So now moving on to the fun part, I printed out a bunch of photos from Pinterest and started playing around with them and gluing them into my bullet journal. I also decided to use some dark purple scrapbooking paper to just kind of help accent the whole color scheme. And here I am gluing in a mermaid tail that I actually drew on a separate piece of paper and then just decided to glue in. I have a section for a running to-do list as well as an event section, which I can just continue to jot down events and stuff throughout the month as just a one place, a master list of everything. So that is the calendar. As you can see, I added some more stickers and washi tape just to kind of bring the theme together, but overall I'm really happy with how it turned out. Okay, so the next spread is my goals and highlights section, which I wrote out with a dark purple Tombow marker. And then the next thing I did was I looked through all of my photos that I printed out and chose some that would suit the page. One of them has jellyfish and the other one has a mermaid swimming underwater, and I just glued those into my notebook. And then I went ahead with some washi tape. I'm using this dark purple one that I actually cut in half to make it a little skinnier, and I added some details with a gel pen. And then I added another mermaid tail, which I drew on a separate piece of paper, as well as some more stickers. So moving on to the next page, here is my expense tracker. So I decided to write expenses on the side of the paper vertically and then added a lilac drop shadow. And then after that, I just added another drawing that I did on a separate piece of paper, glued that in, and then I went ahead and made all of my charts for my expense tracker. I like to keep this spread pretty simple and categorize my expenses into 4 different categories. This helps me to see where my expenses are going, as well as just to keep me organized when I jot them down after spending the money. So I have a food section, a house section, gas, and then other, and this pretty much covers all of my major expenses. And like I have an other section, so I can just put any other random expenses into there. And then I finished off the page with some more photos and washi tape. Okay, so this next spread is my habit tracker. I started with this really pretty photo of jellyfish underwater, and then I decided to write habits on top with a white gel pen. And this month I decided to switch up my habit tracker. For the past few months I've been doing boxed habit trackers with a single habit per box, and I decided to just do a long list of all the dates and then write the habits horizontally at the top, and then I can just color in the box if I completed that habit. So I just used the starting letter for each habit that I wanted to keep track of. And then in the corner of the page I decided to draw a mermaid tail because it is a mermaid theme, so I decided to just go crazy with it and draw lots of mermaid tails. I did that with some Tombow markers and a white gel pen. And then on the following page I have my line a day spread, which I actually took a break from for I think 2 months, and I decided to bring it back. So pretty much how this works is I write a summary of the day for each day. As you can see, I have all of the dates from 1 to 31 on the page, and yeah, that is how this spread turned out. So here we are at the final spread of the video, which is my first weekly spread. I started by taking a piece of scrapbooking paper and ripping a corner of that and gluing that in with a photo and sticker. And then I just wrote out July with a Tombow brush marker, and I played around with a bunch of photos just to kind of get them how I liked it. I love using photos as it's a great way to add texture and detail, and I don't think I could do a spread without some type of photo in it. It just really is fun for me to scrapbook each week. So I went ahead and wrote all of the days of the week with a micron pen in this monoline cursive font. I think this is the 0.08 size, and then I wrote the dates with a purple circle and then with my white Jelly Roll gel pen on top. And of course I have my highlight section where I can just jot down some highlights of the week. So that is how the spread turned out. So this actually concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's just a quick flip through of all of my July spreads, and if you have watched my videos before, you may know that I continue to make spreads throughout the month, and then we'll show you them in my next plan with me, which will be for August, which is absolutely crazy. This year has really flown by. But if you guys are interested in watching any more of my bullet journal videos, I will make sure to leave a link down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.